Welcome back to the AUSPACK Files, live from the AUSPACK 2022 exhibition floor. And for this segment, I'm joined by Michael Anderson. And Michael, you're the General Manager of Aerofloat.
I am.
Welcome to the show, mate.
Thank you. Nice to be here. Thanks for chatting.
Cool. Can you tell us about Aerofloat? Who's the company? What do you do?
Sure. We're an Australian business in Sydney. We're a family-owned business, about 25 staff. We supply, install, commission wastewater treatment equipment for predominantly industrial wastewater customers, a lot of your food and beverage customers, for a lot of trade waste compliance.
Okay. Yeah, I imagine that in the production process, the packaging process, there's going to be a lot of wastewater, the clean down and cooling equipment and things like that. So, yeah, you can't just let that all just go into a drain, can you?
No, you can't. And depending where you are in the country, what city you're in, you obviously have councils, and councils have requirements to manage their sewer network that you're discharging into.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously we all flush the toilet. We know what happens there. So a food and beverage manufacturer is generating wastewater that's joining that stream in the sewers.
Okay.
Problem becomes with grease. You get grease build up in sewers. So your councils are concerned about blocked sewers. They're also concerned about the organic load of that wastewater once it reaches the destination, which is the sewage treatment plant for the region.
Yep. Okay. And of course, they've got lots of legislation about, and as well as to make sure. So are they actually sampling all the way back if they detect something and figuring out which stream it's come from or which pipe it's come from?
They can do that. But typically, if you're going to set up to be a food manufacturer somewhere, your council knows through the DA process that you're setting up shop, and you have then a responsibility to ensure compliance for your trade waste entering the sewer. So you have a set of effluent metrics that measure the wastewater that's entering the sewer. And what we do is we supply, install, commission the wastewater equipment apparatus that you need that will take the fats, oils, and grease, suspended solids out of that wastewater, so that the water is suitable for discharge to sewer, typically.
Yeah, okay. So you're actually removing all the nasty bits. Is that through filtration, or is it like where it sits and it comes to the top, or things like that?
Yep. So the sort of in the name of our business, Aerofloat, we do flotation systems. So dissolved air flotation is where the business started. We have proprietary dissolved air flotation systems. We have about 3 patents on some different technologies. Those that's just one part of what we do. We also do biological treatment of certain wastewaters, depending where you are in the country. Councils have different requirements. If you're inland, it's more difficult, tighter standards than if you're near the coast, because coastal is going to a sewer outfall past its primary treatment at the big sewage treatment plants on the coast. Inland, you're going to river discharge. So there's tighter standards and more social responsibility.
Okay.
Yeah, sustainability.
Yeah, sometimes it can be a tricky word, that one.
I should know that one better.
Don't worry, we've all fallen over that word a few times. But now, something you've said there a couple of times, depending on where you're living and different councils. So I imagine you must spend a lot of time on understanding all the differences between different councils and what applies where. That's a big investment, isn't it?
Yeah, and I mean that's why companies like us exist, because well, A, you need the equipment, but B, we understand pretty much most councils in the country. We've worked in most of them. We understand sewer networks. Even in Sydney, there are through the 80s and 90s there were degradation of sewers in certain parts of Sydney around Smithfield. So there's like a little pocket there where there's a really tight BOD limit in the city of Sydney, which is strange, but it's purely for the fact that the sewers are so bad from industry from all those years that we sometimes get clients like, oh, we just leased this new factory and let's set up shop, and I'm like, oh no, you haven't.
You're in the zone.
You're in the zone. You're in the low rent zone.
Yeah, there was a reason it was cheap.
That's right. So it's really like know your space before you sign up is probably a big tip, and I spoke about that here the other day over at the AUSPACK. I spoke here
at the forums.
On day 2. So.
Okay. Now, you spoke about removing the nasties before the water goes into the sewers, but have you got many clients that then take that water, reuse it?
Sure. Yeah. So we do a lot of off sewer. So if people set up and they don't have a sewer at all. So we actually were nominated for Sustainability Award. Got it right. Sustainability Award last night at the AUSPAC Awards, Outdoor Awards. We for a project we did for Cupid's Winery, where we took they manufacture a cheese and they process and brew beer and wine at their in Ulladulla at their winery. Plus they have a wedding venue, so all the sewage from the so we take beer, wine, cheese, and sewage. We treat it all on site and we irrigate it on their land.
Oh wow!
So we were a finalist for that an award for there, and so it can be done. Just requires space and the right process.
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying. No, that's good to know that people are able to make use of their otherwise effluent. So you're here at the show. You've got a stand, I believe.
Yeah, D190.
There you go. There are some people out there who are listening and debating whether they're going to come down to the floor. So what will people find at your stand?
Sure. We've got Ray Anderson and Michael Wilson are here, along with myself. Those two are experienced process engineers. Ray's an absolute guru in the sort of wastewater industry in Australia. And come down, and if there's any problems you want to talk about, we'll just we haven't got any fancy machines whizzing things around, but we have a lot of experience on the stand to come and have a chat about your problems.
And that can be half the thing of coming to a show like this. It's not just to see all the fancy machines; it's to make the contacts with the people who can help solve your problems.
That's right. And there's a big sign in the sky that says, "Do you have a wastewater problem?" So that's us.
That's good. That would attract a lot of people there.
Yeah,
because many people do.
That's right.
Well, Michael, thanks very much for coming on the show. Is there anything else you'd like to say before we sign off?
Thanks, Grant. No, just thanks to APMA for the nomination for the award and P&K for having us along. And it's been a great show, and we look forward to more successful AUSPACs, and I believe it's now called
Apex.
There you go.
Apex. Apex, not Apex. You've got to Apex. I should know. I interviewed the guys just before about it.
There you go.
So well, congratulations on the nomination. It's just amazing to get nominated. You're in amongst a lot of other people, organizations. So
thanks.
Well, congrats once again, and thanks very much for coming on the show.
Thanks, Grant. Nice to meet you.
And you. Okay, folks. We'll be back soon with another discussion on the AUSPAC files, but until then, stay tuned to this station.